In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an online course website step by step. This website has a beautiful homepage with an easy access button to all of the courses you have on your site. Your most popular courses are presented professionally right here on the homepage to entice enrollment. You've got a promotional drop-down section, a testimonial section of your students' reviews, and a contact section for any questions that your students might have. And we're going to be making this website with WordPress and an awesome plugin called LearnDash. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Create a Pro website. My name is Levi Hagan, and I'll be walking you through this journey step by step. If you're watching this video and you've never created a website before, don't worry, this video is for you. We're going to be making the entire website using a super easy to use drag and drop page builder and a simple course builder as well, so you won't need any previous experience. I'm going to show you how to fully customize your course presentation, how to build a course on your website using LearnDash, how to include quizzes and final exams, how to set different access modes for your course, how to customize the grid on the homepage, and how to set up payment methods through plugins like Stripe, WooCommerce, and CartFlows to fully customize your students' checkout experience. You might be looking at this and thinking to yourself, this is a bit too complicated for my taste, but trust me, it could not be any easier. Elementor makes designing your website so easy just by dragging and dropping widgets onto your screen. LearnDash makes the creation process to entering your course easy with its course builder function, where all you have to do is click on the add course or the add lesson to enter in your own content. And the WooCommerce plugin makes the payment methods very simple and linear, so it's easy to understand. And again, I will personally be walking you through this entire tutorial step by step. Just for a quick overview, I'm going to be walking you through getting your very own custom domain name and hosting for your website. I'll show you how to install and use WordPress, which is the most common free software for editing websites. I'll show you how to download a template along with plugins. I'll show you how to sign up and connect your LearnDash software. Next, I'll show you how to customize your homepage with Elementor. I'll then show you how to build your course using LearnDash's course builder. And finally, I'll then show you how to set up payment methods and edit permissions for your courses. During this tutorial, you can use the right and left arrow keys to go forward or backwards by 5 seconds. Also, I'm going to put timestamps of this video down in the description so it's easy for you to skip ahead or go back to any of the steps at any time. And if I'm going a little too slow, you can always change the playback speed by clicking on the little gear icon to this video and changing the playback speed to something a little faster. All right, now that you have an understanding of what we're going to be going through, let's go ahead and get started. So step number 1 is to get a domain name and hosting. A domain name is just the address to your website. It's what people will enter into the search bar to find your website. So something like yourwebsite.com. And web hosting is just renting space on a server somewhere that's connected to the internet so that you can store all of your media and files on your website. There are web hosting companies that have buildings full of these servers, and they also offer you 24/7 support in case anything happens to your website. Yes, you can get a free website, but it comes with a lot of limitations as well. Like you won't have your very own custom domain name. It'll be something like yourwebsite.wix.com or squarespace.com, or it might even be a random string of letters and numbers that you don't even get to choose. You also can't upload new themes in order to customize your website exactly the way that you want it. You also can't upload plugins to increase the functionality of your site. You can't monetize the website with ads in order to make money from it. And your website can be deleted at any time because you don't technically own it. So for these reasons, I recommend web hosting because it places you in control. So, in order to get your domain name and hosting, just click on the very first link down in the description or go to createaprowebsite.com/hosting and it'll take you to a page that looks like this. By clicking on my affiliate link, which I receive a commission from, you'll receive that massive discount that I was talking about earlier. Now, Create a Pro website has dozens and dozens of websites with HostGator because they're fast, reliable, affordable, and they have 24/7 support in case anything happens to your website. You'll hear me say it a lot, but we really trust HostGator here at Create a Pro websites, so we stick with them. Okay. So now we've got 3 different plans in front of us. We've got the hatchling plan, the baby plan, and the business plan. I really only recommend the baby plan and the business plan when your website starts to take off and you gain a following or you start to make money off of it, if that's what you're trying to do with it, just because they're a little bit more expensive. Right now, I'm going to stick to the hatchling plan. It's the cheapest one. And that one comes with a single domain name. Now, if you're looking to get multiple domain names, you can go ahead and go with the baby or the business plan. But let's just go ahead and do the hatchling plan. Okay. And so right here is where you're going to be able to register your very own custom domain name. If you already have your own domain name, you can go over to this tab right here. But for this video, I'm going to be creating my very own custom one. So I'll try something like this. And so when you click outside of the search bar, it'll search to make sure that it's available as a domain name. And so when it highlights green, you know that your new domain is available. And so down below, you've got a bunch of different options. You've got .com, .club, .site, .net, and a whole bunch of different other ones. I always recommend staking to a .com just because it's the most professional and it's also the one that's the most common when people are searching for websites. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down. Now, the domain privacy protection is also an important part right here. It's for the $14.95 billed annually, but you want to make sure that this checkbox is checked. And so what this does is it protects your personal information like your phone number and your email from telemarketers and solicitors who are going to try and offer you different services for your website. And so it gets kind of frustrating when you're answering the phone over and over again throughout the day. So I just go ahead and make sure that it's checked. Okay. So number 2 is to choose a hosting plan. And so this is the part where we already did it, but it's on the hatchling plan. You can also choose baby or business here, but I'm going to leave it here. So the billing cycle is just how you're going to be billed. And so you can do it for the 36 months, which is going to be $271 a month, or you can go all the way down to like 1 month and be at $7 a month. Obviously, the biggest contract is the biggest discount. Now, it's important to keep in mind that you're going to be paying for all of these months up front. And so it just averages out to the $271 a month. So I'm going to do just the 1 month for now. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to number 3, which is to create your HostGator account. And this is pretty simple. You're just going to enter in your email and a password, and you're just creating a HostGator account. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. All right. And so I went ahead and entered in my information. So let's go ahead and scroll on down to number 4. And so this is just setting up your billing info with HostGator. And so right now you can do credit card or PayPal. I'm going to stick to credit card. So I'll see you guys in just a second. I'm just going to fill out my personal information. Okay, so I went ahead and entered in my personal billing information. So let's go ahead and scroll on down to the additional services section right here. So what you're going to do is actually uncheck the site lock essentials and the backup your hard work, because I've got videos on the channel that show you how to do this for free. And so we'll save you the $23 and the $23 here as well. So let's go ahead and scroll on down to number 6. Now, this is an important step. Make sure that your coupon code says create a pro website just like this, because this is how you're going to receive that massive discount that I was talking about earlier. All right, so step number 7 is to just review your order details. And so you can see right here that our domain registration is for 1 year. And so it went from $17.99 down to $4.99. We've got the Hatchling 1 month plan, which is paid upfront for the 1 month. And so it went from $10 down to $7. And then we've got the hosting add-ons, which is just the domain privacy protection, which is the $14.95. And so it all comes out to $29.10, which is pretty good for your first website. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and click on the checkbox to agree to the terms of service and click on checkout now. All right, so now HostGator is just setting up your account, so we're just going to give it a second. Okay, so HostGator has finished setting up our account. Let me close out of that. So it's going to ask us to tell us a little bit about your goals. I'm just going to go ahead and click out of this. Perfect. And so now from here, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to say skip everything, and I'm just going to go straight to my dashboard. All right, so now that we're in the dashboard of HostGator, we can go ahead and move on to step number 2, which is to install WordPress. Okay, so in order to install WordPress, they make it very easy here on HostGator. You can just go right over here to the control panel option right here and click on Install WordPress. All right, and from here, we're just going to go ahead and click on Install Now for WordPress. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we're downloading the most current version of WordPress. And so you can click right here, and it's already selected for 5.6, so we're good to go. And then for the choose installation URL, it's basically choosing where you're going to download WordPress to. And so the direction we want it to go is to our new domain name. So just make sure that it's right here. And if you got a bunch, you can just click on the drop down and choose which domain you just registered. So then we can go down to site settings. For the site name, I'm going to go ahead and change this to something like, and then for the site description, I'm going to go ahead and change this to something like, okay, I think that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead and scroll on down to the admin account. And so this is really important. The admin username and password, you make sure you remember, because this is what we're going to use to edit our website every single time. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to my name. And then for the admin password, I'm going to go ahead and type in my own password. Okay, and then for the admin email, you really want to make sure that this is the exact same email that you used for logging into HostGator. So let me type that in. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll on down a little bit more. For the choose language, I'm going to leave it on English because that's what I speak. And then for select plugins, advanced options, and select a theme, we're going to go ahead and skip all 3 of these because I'm going to show you guys how to download the correct plugins, choosing a theme, and everything. So let's go ahead and scroll on past it and click on install. All right, so it looks like our software has successfully installed. Let me just go ahead and close out of that as well. So this is also a very important step, just like the admin username and password. You want to make sure that you remember this administrative URL right here. This is what you're going to use to log into the website every time you edit it. It's very easy to remember, but if you can't remember it, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and open it on a new tab and then save it as a bookmark. That's what I do sometimes. It's very simple to remember though. It's just createaprophoto.com, which is the domain name that I registered, /wp-admin. That's it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open this up on a new tab. Perfect. So if you get taken to a page that looks like this or says that your site doesn't exist, it just means that your website needs to propagate first. And what that means is that HostGator is now sending out your new domain name across the world to let everyone know that it's been purchased and that it's live. This can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, or sometimes it can take an entire day, or sometimes it can happen in just a few minutes. You just have to keep coming back to the page and refreshing until you see a page that looks like this. That's when you know that you're ready to log in and edit your website. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and type in my very own admin username and password. Okay, cool. So now that we're on our WordPress dashboard, we can go ahead and move on to step number 3, which is to sign up and download LearnDash. So in order to download LearnDash, we're going to go ahead and open up a new tab. And we're actually going to type in createaprowebsite.com/LearnDash. And I actually have that link down in the description as well in case you guys are interested. Now this is my affiliate link, so I receive a commission on it, but it also helps to fund these amazing tutorials for you guys. So it's a win-win there. All right, so now that we're in LearnDash's website, we can go over here to the top right corner and click on Get LearnDash. Okay, so there are 3 different types of plans that you can get and sign up with LearnDash. I chose the cheapest option right here for the basic plan for $159. So you can do the same, or you can pick up one of the premium plans if you choose to do so. Now, this is something that I wanted to explain to all of you watching at home with a concerned look on your face. LearnDash does have a serious cost to consider, but you need to think of it as starting your own business. You have to spend money in order to make money. Additionally, you need to keep in mind that you're creating a passive income stream for yourself, and so you're willing to sell courses anywhere from $10 to something like $200. So within the first few sales of your course, you're going to be able to make up this cost. And then lastly, it's important to understand that you're paying LearnDash to take care of a lot of setup and upkeep of your online course, so that's why they're charging for it. So from here, you can go ahead and click on Add to Cart, and then they're going to walk you through the process of payment and also setting up an account with them. So I already have an account with LearnDash, so I'm going to go ahead and just log into it. All right, so once you've created an account with LearnDash, you'll be able to actually download a zip file with LearnDash so that we can install it up to your website. So we'll go ahead and click on Download right here for the newest version, and it's going to download a zip file. And so from here, we can go back to our dashboard. And then we're going to go over to the plugin section over here on this left-hand menu, and then we'll go down to Add New. And then instead of adding one of these plugins here, we're just going to go up to the top and click Upload Plugin, choose File, and then we're just going to select that zip folder that we just downloaded. And click on Open, and Install Now. Okay, so it looks like our plugin installed successfully, so now we can go ahead and activate LearnDash by clicking right here. Perfect, and now you can see that LearnDash has appeared right up on top over here. The last step is to pull your license from either the email that they send you, or you can just go straight into your account, which is what I'm going to do. And so you just go over to the license details, and mine's going to be blurred out for obvious reasons, but you're just going to copy paste it. And so we're going to go over to the LearnDash Overview. And right here for enter your license, this is where you're going to go ahead and paste it. And then also type in the email associated with the account, and then just click on Save License. Okay, and then one last thing that I want to show you guys about LearnDash is we have to go over here to the left-hand menu, but first go ahead and just hit refresh. And now you'll see that the add-ons tab is here, so we have to go ahead and install a couple of add-on plugins with LearnDash. First thing you can do is go ahead and click on Check Updates just to make sure that we do have, in fact, the newest version of LearnDash, which it looks like we do, so we're good to go. So what even is a plugin? A plugin is basically just downloadable software that you can use to improve the functionality of your website. And so you can think of it as the plugins tab right here, or like Add New, is just like clicking on the App Store in your phone. And so the plugins are just different apps. And so they let your phone do different things, just like on your website, it lets your website do different things. So we're going to be downloading a few different add-ons for LearnDash. So the first one is going to be WooCommerce for LearnDash. So just click on Install Now, and then click on Activate. And then we'll go back to the LearnDash add-ons. We'll go over to Stripe for LearnDash and click on Install Now. And then we'll activate. And then we'll go back to LearnDash again, add-ons. We're going to scroll down a little bit to LearnDash Course Grid, and we're going to click on Install Now. And then we'll click on Activate. We will go up to LearnDash again, add-ons. Scroll down a little bit and then click on the LearnDash notifications, install now, and activate. All right, so now we've downloaded LearnDash and we integrated it to WordPress using our license that we get from LearnDash. And then we went ahead and clicked on add-ons and we uploaded a whole bunch of different plugins for LearnDash. All right, so now that we've downloaded all the plugins and LearnDash, we can go ahead and move on to step number 4, which is to activate the Astra theme. In order to do this, we're just gonna go over to the Appearance tab right here, hover over it, and then click on Themes. And right now, the active theme is 2021, which is just WordPress's default theme. Let me show you what that looks like before we actually add a new one. We'll just go up to the top left corner for Create a Pro Photo, and then you can either click on it to visit your site or click on Visit Site right there, or I'm gonna open it up on a new tab. So this is what our website looks like so far. It's pretty plain and boring, so we're gonna be editing it. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And so now back on the themes page, we're gonna go over to Add New. And then right here in the search bar, we're gonna go ahead and search Astra. Perfect, and here it is right here. We can go ahead and click Install and Activate. Okay, so now that we have an active theme, which is Astra, we can go ahead and move on to step number 5, which is to download a template. Okay, so in order to download a template, we first have to add one more plugin, which is Astra's plugin for starter templates. So I'm gonna go over to Plugins and click on Add New. And then go all the way over to search and just type in Astra. And then it's going to be the first one right here, starter templates for Astra. And so I'm just going to click on install now and activate. Okay, so now we can go back to the appearance tab and now you'll see that starter templates has been added right here as an option. We'll click on it. And then it's going to ask what kind of page builder we're using, which in this video, we're going to use Elementor. So we'll click on this one. And now we can look through the starter templates for a whole bunch of different templates for complete websites. And so for instance, if I were to click on one, I can scroll through and take a preview of the entire website. So this is the home page. It's got 4 different pages in this entire website. And so it'll have an About Me page, which looks like this, and so on. And then I can import the complete site and get all 4 pages, or just do the About page, or whichever one is selected. So home, and now it's just the home page. Click on the back button. You can also filter based on this one right here. You can do business sites, other, blog, e-commerce, and then you can also switch between all websites, free templates, or paid or pro agency templates right here. We're gonna go ahead and type in LearnDash into the search bar up on top. And then it's gonna be this first option right here with the blue background for LearnDash Academy. So just click on it and we can scroll through just to take a quick preview of the website, which I think looks pretty good on its own, but we'll do a little customization to it. So now let's scroll over to import the home template, but this time we're actually gonna do the complete site. Perfect. And so now it's gonna ask us a few different options before we import. And so it's gonna import the settings, widgets, and plugins and content all within this template, which is really cool. So we don't have to go to the plugins tab and add a whole bunch of different plugins. It's gonna go ahead and download all of them along with this template. So that's pretty neat. I'm gonna go ahead and click on import. Okay, perfect. So now that we have successfully imported the site, let's go ahead and click right here and view the site. So I'm gonna open it on a new tab. And then I'm gonna go ahead and close the license details. So this is our website. We've downloaded the entire template. We've got a bunch of different courses. Looks pretty cool, little testimonial section. We have different tabs as well. We can go to the all courses page. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this tab. And then I'm also gonna close these two as well. So just like this, and click on close. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the dashboard. Now the last thing I wanna do is just confirm that all the plugins that I need did download in fact with the template. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my installed plugins, which is basically just all the plugins that are in my WordPress right now. And then when I scroll down, I can see that we've got Elementor, CartFlows, Elementor is right here. We've got the course grid notifications, Stripe, and WooCommerce, which we downloaded earlier, which is all good. And I'll show you how to use all of these different plugins later on in the video. There is one last plugin that is missing, and it's the essential add-ons for Elementor. So we're gonna go back to the Add New tab. It looks like it didn't download with the template, which is okay. So we're just gonna click on the search bar and type in Elementor. And from here, you'll see that Elementor is already installed and active because the template did it for us, but now we just want this one, which is Essential Add-ons for Elementor. What this one does is it just adds a bunch of cool extra widgets that you can use in Elementor, and we're gonna be using one of them. So I wanna install it, and then click Activate. All right, and then we're gonna download one last plugin, so let's go ahead and go back to the Add New tab right here. and then we'll go to the search bar, and it's going to be called Stripe. Now, if you remember correctly, we did download the LearnDash integration for Stripe as a LearnDash add-on over here, but Stripe is its own separate plugin that we have to use, and so we're going to do the WooCommerce Stripe payment gateway so that WooCommerce and Stripe can communicate. So click on Install and Activate. Okay, so now we've got a theme, we've got a template, and we also have all the plugins, so we're ready to go ahead and start customizing our website. So we can go ahead and move on to step number 6, which is to create a header and footer. And what I mean by that, let me go ahead and open up our site on a new tab just so you can take a look at it. I'm going to be showing you guys how to edit this top header up here, and then also the footer at the very bottom of the website. I'll be showing you how to put your very own custom logo up here, and I'll show you how to design it for free without having to download any software. And then we'll also edit these buttons up top. We can change the coloring and everything, and we can also make them go to different places. So let's get into it. So I'm going to close out of this tab. First, let's get started by creating our very own custom logo. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus tab right here, and we're going to go to a website called Logo Maker. Just take off the E. Logo Maker is a great tool for creating free logos, and I use it all the time. So let's go ahead and close out of this tutorial because I'm going to show you how to use it. So first, you can go over to this left-hand side and do text and basic shapes. And then under the basic shapes, you've got, all of your basics right here, including a line. And then for text, you just click and it's going to give you some text and you can edit it however you want. I'm going to delete it. All right. And then you can go to the top left corner right here and click on search over a million graphics, and you can pull from a whole bunch of different ones. So I'm going to search something like this, and I'll just choose this one right here. And so now I've got it. I can click and drag and move it. I can also click on these corners right here and make it bigger or smaller. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. You can also rotate just by holding here, delete, and then you've got some basic options as well, like send it back and front, which is important, copy paste and stuff like that. All right, so let's also do, and so then I'm just going to go ahead and scroll on down, and let's choose this one right here. And so I'm going to resize it, make it a little bit smaller, put it into this guy right here. Just like that. And then you can use your arrow keys to move it around a little bit more. Just like that. Search one more. And then I'm going to choose this one right here and shrink it as well. Place it within. Let's go ahead and move the whole thing just by highlighting like this. And now I can move all 3 of the logos just like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some text. And then you can go up here and choose the different font category and then font. And so if you choose this, you can go to scary or handwriting or simple and modern, which normally I'd use simple and modern, but I really like this one in designer picks. Amatic SC. And so I'm going to resize this just to be the same size as the text. Let's make it a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. We'll also make the text color black by going over here and changing it from the color wheel. And then drag and move it like this. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and change the letter spacing on this. So I'm going to triple click just to highlight everything. And from here, I can change basic text functions like this. So I'm just going to increase the letter spacing. Make this a little bigger. Just like that. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and change one more thing. I want to make sure that the alignment is to the left. Perfect. I think that looks awesome. So now we can go ahead and save the logo by going up here to the top right corner and clicking on save. It's going to ask if you want to download a high resolution file, but for $19. So I'm just going to say no thanks. I'll take the low resolution file right here, and then you'll just save it to your computer. But I've already created the logo and saved it, and so it's in my computer right now. It's the same one. So I'm going to close out. You also want to create 3 different logos. So you've got the black logo like this, highlight everything and create a white logo like this for when you have a darker background and you want it to pop out. So click save again, and then download the low resolution file. And then lastly, you want to go ahead and highlight everything again, change it back to black, and then you're just going to take the text off so that now you've got just the logo image like this, or the icon, and then save one last time. And then take the low resolution file, just like that. Okay, perfect. So now that you saved them, we can go ahead and close out of this tab. We're going to go ahead and go over to our Create a Pro Photo name right here and open it on a new tab. From here, we can click on the Customize tab. And now we're actually going to put the logo into the corner. So one thing that you can do is you can always hover over whatever you want to edit, like the logo right here, or I can hover over the menu. And if you click on this blue icon, it'll automatically take you to the settings that you want to go to. So instead of clicking on header and then going into all the subcategories, I can just click here and it'll take me all the way to a transparent header so I can edit this. But just so you guys know, you go to header, transparent header, and then here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the stock logo and go ahead and select my own. Under the Upload Files tab, I'm going to go to Select Files. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and find my white logo right here and open it. The reason I'm doing my white logo is because it's on a transparent background. So let me go ahead and choose the image and you'll see. If I were to put black on this blue, it wouldn't pop as much. That's why even the default colors are white on here, and so it pops pretty well. You can also change the logo width, which is essentially the logo size, just by dragging it up like this. So I think something around that size looks appropriate. And then down below, you can change the colors and background of the transparent header. Now, make sure that you have a distinction between transparent header and a regular header, because whatever changes I make in the transparent header, they won't change or affect the regular header. So if I go down and I can change the background color, right now it's completely transparent. But if I were to scroll down and choose something like red, now you can see that my transparent header is obviously no longer transparent. It's actually got a color there. And so you can play around with whatever color you want, and you can change the opacity right here to be a little bit more transparent or completely opaque, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to hit the reset button to set it back to transparent. Okay. And then you can also change the colors of everything else down here as well. So you guys can play around with that. So now to save my work, I'm going to go right here to publish. And now my logo is live. Let's go ahead and do the same thing, but for regular headers, because the homepage has a transparent, but maybe if I click on all courses or something like that, it might be a different solid. So let's go ahead and go back. And then we'll go to site identity. And so this is where the regular logo is. And so we're going to go ahead and remove it. Select it. And here's my black one right here. And then go ahead and hit select. It's going to ask you to crop your logo, which I'm not going to, so I'm going to hit skip cropping, but in case you wanted to kind of move these around, you can. Perfect. And so now anywhere on the website where there is not a transparent header, it is now using this logo, but obviously on the homepage, it's not here. So the last thing that I want to show you to do when it comes to logos is use just this monitor right here to be your site icon. And so what that means is it's going to be this little picture right here on the tab. And so right now for HostGator, it's their little gator, which is their mascot. So I'm going to go ahead and change that now. Click on Site Icon right here. We'll go back to Upload, select Files, and now I'm going to choose just my site icon, which is just the icon that I saved. And so that's why it's important to save all three. We'll hit Select. It's going to ask you to crop your site icon so you can make it smaller or bigger. I'm just going to leave it and hit Skip Cropping. And just like that, now you can see my icon is right there, and then you can always resize it however you want. So I'm going to click on Publish to save my work. Okay, so then after saving our work, we can go ahead and now move on to editing this header menu, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and hit the back button one more time. And so now on the main customization tab, we're going to scroll on down over here to menus. And so it's a primary menu that's created right here. And so that's just the title of the menu. You can always create a new menu and give it a name, something like test menu, for instance, and click on if you want it to be a primary menu or LearnDash focus mode menu, which I'll talk about focus mode later, so just ignore that, or a footer menu. But for now, let's just say a primary menu. Next. And now you can add items to it. And I'll show you that in a second, and click on Publish. So then if you hit back, now we've got test menu and primary menu. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete the test menu because that was just to show you how to create one if you wanted to. The primary menu that comes stock with LearnDash's template though is appropriate. It actually does work for everything and it's pre-made. So we're just going to leave it like that. And then right now you can see that it's actually got both menus up on top because I haven't actually set this one as the primary again. So let's just go ahead and do it. Now you'll see that it's different. So we're good to go. Publish. If you wanted to rearrange this menu to be in a different order, you can always take all courses and put it in front of home. So you can move it like this, just by dragging and dropping. And now you can see over here on the preview, we've got home is second, all courses is first, but I'm going to change it back. If, for instance, you wanted these to be subcategories, you can actually take all courses underneath home and move it over. And you can see that my dotted line underneath has now been indented. And so when I let it go, now it's a subcategory under home. And so if you hover over home, which has a little arrow, you'll see that this is going to be the sub option. Now the text coloring is white, and so that's why you can't see the text coloring here, but we can change that in these settings, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But for now, you can see that there would be one right here. I'm going to remove it back as a main menu point. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is you can always click to expand, and then you can either remove or make any changes that you want to. If you click on add items, you can add whatever you want to this menu. And so right now it's set for pages. So if you click on home, it's going to take you to the home page or to the My Account page or the checkout page. You can change it. If yours is a blog post for some reason, you can put a blog post up here or whatever else you want if you got products or courses. So I'm going to leave it for pages, but all you would do is just click on the plus button next to whatever you want to add. So for instance, let's add a about page again. And so there it is at the bottom. And you can also click on the X button and it removes it. So just like that, close that menu there and publish. Okay, so now we've got our logo, site icon, and our header menu, and they all look great. So one last thing I want to show you while we're in this customizing tab is how to set a default color and default text for your entire website. So we'll go to the back button one more time. We're going to go to the global, which just means the whole website. And then under global, we can go to colors first. So we've got colors and our typography. And then under colors, base colors. And so here you can change the different colors for the website. I'm going to change it to be more of a purple theme. Okay, and I think that looks good. And I'll change maybe one or two more of these. Okay, cool. So I just played around with the colors and just changed them a little bit. So now I've got purple as my theme because all the pictures are going to have kind of a purple color to it. So I'm going to click publish. And then lastly, the default text, go back 1, 2, and we'll go to typography now. And then you've got headings and base typography. We're going to change both. So just base typography. I'm going to change it from Lato to a different font. This is one of my favorite fonts. Back, go to headings, and do the same thing. And of course, you can do it for whatever you want. You can choose different fonts. And then you can also down here change the different font settings like line height, weight, and everything else. So I'm going to click on publish. And so now you can see that anytime one of these different options is set to default text, which I'll show you later, it's automatically going to choose this text font that I have. So you can see that the font for this category right here for my menu options has changed. Now, obviously this one didn't because they probably selected a different font on purpose and they didn't choose the default font, but that's why. All right, so now that our fonts, logos, and icons are all in order, we can go ahead and move on to step number 7, which is to customize your website. All right, so right now we're just in a customizing tab, but we're gonna go ahead and open up Elementor, which is a page builder, which makes creating websites and designing them a lot easier. So we're just gonna hit the back button and click on the exit button right here. It's gonna take us back to our website that looks like this. And so now we can just click on Edit in Elementor. All right. So within Elementor, the page builder, you can see that when I move over things, we can highlight them, and this is how we're going to be editing the entire website. So basic things about Elementor, we've got the elements right here, which are widgets. And so it's just drag and drop. You just grab a widget, I drag it in, and now I can edit that widget. I'm going to right click and just delete. So these are different widgets that you have. You've got some pro widgets that you have to pay for. The free ones are up top. You scroll down a little bit more and you see the general tab, which are more widgets. And then also I wanted to point out for the essential add-ons plugin that we downloaded earlier, these are those extra widgets that I was talking about. So you get even more. All right. And then you can also click on different things and edit them. So if I click on these 6 dots, I'm going to be editing the section just like this. Under editing anything, we have 3 different tabs. You've got the layout tab, style tab, and the advanced tab. And we'll go into each of these a little bit. I want to go over the basic layout for a website. In Elementor, you've got 3 different things. We've got the section, which is the biggest thing. It's kind of like the background, which is right here. And so whenever I highlight over it, you can see this blue line goes all the way around this background image over here, like this. Then within the section, we've got columns, which is the gray dotted line. And then within columns, you've got widgets, which are these little blue lines like this. And so those widgets, if you go back to this Rubik's Cube icon, are all of these again. So let's go ahead and edit the section back here, or the background. So you click right here, and that's how you edit. We'll go over to the left-hand side for the Style tab, and you can change the background image. Go to Upload Files, click on Select Files, And so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to choose this one right here, open. And then we'll scroll down to insert media. All right, so now you can see my images in the background. A few changes that I want to make is position. I'm going to change it to center center. And then I'm going to change the size to cover, which it looks like it's already there, so that's good. I think it looks awesome. But the last thing I want to change is the layout tab and go over to the height section. You've got 3 different options. You can do default, which looks like this. You can do the fit to screen, which fits it to whatever screen you are. So right here is the bottom, and so if I scroll down, there it is. Or you can do minimum height, which basically just gives you a slider. It's like saying custom height, and now I can move it around however I want. But I'm going to change it to fit to screen, just like this. Go back to the style tab. I'm going to add a background overlay. Right now you can see it's blue. That just came with the website. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change this first one to something like just black, like this, and change the opacity pretty dark. And then from here, I'm going to change the second color to more of a dark purple, just like this. I think that looks awesome. I'm going to change this one to like 70, just like this. And then I'm going to change the angle and the opacity. Perfect, something like that. I think that looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and click on this green update button at the bottom corner just to save my work. Okay, so that's how you edit the background back here. I'm going to show you how to edit this text right here. For some reason with the template, it downloads it as an image box, so I'm actually going to delete this and create my own text. So I'm going to go to the Rubik's Cube and then click on heading, drag it in, triple click, and you can edit it right there on the page. All right, triple click again. I'm going to go over to the alignment and change it to center. I'll go to the style tab and you can change the text color. And so I'm going to change it to white just so it pops off of the dark background. Under typography, you can change basic text functions like this. So I'm going to increase the letter spacing a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the font. So right now it's default, which makes it that by font that I had. So I'm going to change it to something like this. And then I'm also going to change the size of my font to 144. Just like that. I think that looks pretty good. One last thing is I'm going to go back to my section. And then I'm going to go over to my layout tab and go to content width. And instead of boxed, I'm going to change it to full width. And now you'll see that it'll change this blue box right here to be the full width of the screen. Just like this. And so now it goes all the way across. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and click on update. I will also go ahead and add a little subtitle here. So I'm going to go back to the Rubik's Cube, do another title heading. This time, triple click. Do this one in all caps. Triple click again. I'm going to change the alignment to center. Change the text color. Typography, I'm going to leave the family default. The size can be a little bit smaller, just like this. I'll change the weight down to like 300, so it's really thin. Letter spacing is going to go up. And the line height is going to go down. I think that looks awesome. Then I'm also going to go to the Advanced tab for the margins, which is the space on the outside, and I'm going to drop it. So I'm going to unlink the values and drop it. That way it brings everything a little bit closer together. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So I'm going to go to Advanced again for margins after clicking on the title, unlink them, and then from the bottom, remove some, just to bring everything a little bit closer together, and click on Update. All right, so that's an example of editing this title section right here. We can go ahead and edit this button as well by clicking on the little blue icon to edit it. You can go to the Style tab and change the text color. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to black, just like this. I'll leave the white background right there, and then I'm also going to change the border color to solid, and I'm going to change it to a purple color, and then increase the width, and now you'll see that the purple appears just like that. And so I think that looks pretty dang good, and click on Update. All right, so now if we scroll down just a little bit, you'll see that our default colors for the website that we changed earlier in the Customize tab have now changed. And so all of our different heading texts have all changed to a different purple, which looks awesome. Let's go ahead and continue that by going ahead and editing all of these icons to be a different color. So just go to the Style tab, and you can change the color to purple. Something like that to match it, just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then from here, we're going to go over to the blue pencil icon, right click on it, and click copy. Then I'm going to go over to this blue icon over here, right click and click on paste style, and it'll paste just the settings that I just applied. Just like that, and paste. Cool. All right, so now we've got the reoccurring purple theme. I think that looks good. You can go ahead and also change the text down here by just clicking on the blue icon, go to content, and you can change whatever text you want to right here. Scroll down a little bit more. We've got our most popular courses. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to edit this later to change the blue color to be purple as well, because this is actually shortcode and it's pulling from our courses section. So if I click on the edit, you'll actually see it's shortcode. And this is downloaded with the template. Scroll down a little bit more. All right, let's go ahead and edit this right here. And so I'm going to change the text to just like that. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to change this picture here by clicking on the edit icon right here. And I'm just going to choose my own image. So go to upload files, and I'm going to choose this one. We'll go over to insert media. And so here's my picture. I'm also going to go to the style tab and change its border radius. If you increase the border radius, it's going to curve the image just like this. So it's got some curved edges. I like that. I'll go over to this tab right here. I can click on the edit and I can change the color. So I'll go to style. And so it looks like for my accordion, the border has its own color, but that's its shadow. So I'm going to go to the title, change the color to purple, something like that. I'm going to copy this hex code and just paste it into the other ones so the icon can change as well. Paste it both. All right. And then it looks like I accidentally forgot to do the active color as well. So let's go back to title and yep, here it is, color. Paste it there. So now we've got purple all the way through. Scroll down a little bit more. All right. And now we've got our testimonial section. So let's go ahead and go to the 6 dots to edit the background. I'm going to go to the style and click on image. I'm going to select my own file, which I have saved right here. And then I'm going to go down and click on insert media. So now that's my background. I'm going to change the position to center, just like that. The size to cover, just so that it doesn't repeat and it sets it as the whole background. The attachment, I'm going to change to fixed, which means now when I scroll through, it's fixed in the background, which gives it that cool parallax effect, which I think looks awesome. I'll go over to the background overlay, and for normal, I'll choose the little paintbrush to put in a color. And again, we'll just paste in that purple code that's still in our clipboard, but I'm going to go ahead and move this to a much darker purple. I think that looks good, and we'll change the opacity to be a little bit darker, just like this. Okay, let's go ahead and change the title text just to be a different color. And again, it's an image box, so I'm just going to delete it and redo it by clicking on the hamburger icon right here and moving the text above, just like this. Triple clicking. All right, triple click one more time just to edit what we're doing. I will make it center. I'll change the color to white. And then I'm going to change the typography to the same one that we're using. There it is. I'll increase the letter spacing, maybe the size, like this. I'll change the weight to something a little bit thinner, and I'll probably transform it to uppercase, just like this. Let's add a little bit of space underneath it by going back to the advanced and going to margin, unlink, and I'm just going to increase the bottom just a little bit, like that. Okay. Now you can edit these testimonial sections as well just by clicking on the pencil icon. I'm not going to change the picture or who it's from. I'm just going to change the style of it. So I'm going to go to style. And for the text color, I'm going to change it to white. For the typography, I'm going to leave it just the way it is. For the image, I'm going to leave it because that's just the picture. For the name, I'm going to change the text color to white. And the title is going to be white. All right, and then now I'm going to go over to the column which is the gray checkbox here. I'm going to go over to the Style tab. And for the background color, I'm going to change it from white to something a lot more transparent. Like this. Because the column is what has this white background. It's not actually in the icon right here. I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to copy paste these settings to all three. So first I'll just do the blue part. And then I'll do the same thing, but for the column. So let's copy the column edit and paste the edit. Perfect. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and click on Update to save our work. We're going to scroll down just a little bit. We're going to add one more section by using a block. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Add Template button. And blocks are basically just little templates that you can use. So I'm going to click on the Blocks tab right here. And then once you're in the Blocks tab, we'll scroll on down to this one right here. I like frequently asked questions. And so we're going to go ahead and click on Insert. And so you're going to have to connect your template library right here. It's really easy. You just enter in your email. Okay, perfect. So now that it is imported, all I'm going to do is just change the background. So I'm going to edit right here by clicking on the 6 dots, go to the Style tab and change it to white. And then I'm going to go ahead and edit all of those titles because they're just white. So let's go ahead and edit this one first. Let's change the text color to purple. Just like this. All right. And then now I'm just going to go ahead and click right here and copy the number. And then I'm going to go over to the title, go to the Style tab and change the same color. And from here it's easy because now I can just click on the blue icon and I can hit copy and just paste it onto each title. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to click on Update to save. And then of course you can go ahead and edit in all of the frequently asked questions that you normally get from the course that we're about to build. So let's scroll down. And so the last part we're going to do is just click to add a widget right here. We're going to do a double side. In the first one, click the plus button. We're just going to put a picture. And then in the second one, we're just going to go over to the search bar and type in WP. And you want to click on the WP forms that's from Elementor add-ons. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the select form. WP forms is just WordPress forms. And they already have, that came with the template, a contact form. So just click on it. And it's going to input it in right there. And then we can also go ahead and edit the image and choose the image. I'm going to upload my own file and I have a picture of me. All right, and then insert media. Perfect. So I've got my image on the left and then I've got my contact form on the right. Let's go ahead and do one last thing. I'm going to put a little bit of color into the background. So I'm going to click on these 6 dots right here, go to Style tab. And then I'm going to change the background type from a classic to a gradient. And we'll do some kind of a blue on the top, and then on the bottom we'll do some kind of a purple. And then we can change the angle just like that. And I'll move the location over just a little bit. Awesome. Okay, perfect. I think that looks pretty good. We can go ahead and edit the contact form by just clicking on the blue icon here. And let's edit the style of the contact form. So we'll change just the text color to white. So for the title first, it needs to be white. And then go down to labels, which are the labels for the field boxes. And we'll just change those to white. And then for the button is down here. And we will just change the text to white as well. Awesome. And then I'm going to change the background color to white and then actually change the text color to black. Just like that. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. Click on Update to save our work. All right, one last thing I want to show you guys. Let's go all the way to the very top. Let's go ahead and set this button to actually go to the All Courses page. So we're going to go ahead and edit it. We'll go to the Content tab. And for the link, right now it's a placeholder. We're just going to delete that number sign. And we're going to type in the page we want, which is All Courses. It's going to search through all of our different objects that we have on the website, which it's a page for all courses. And it types in the hyperlink for us and click Update. So let's go ahead and preview our changes that we just did to the homepage. We'll go over to the preview changes button, which is right next to update. It'll open it up on a new tab, and here we are. Wow, I think it looks fantastic. We scroll down just a little bit. We've got different courses, which these 3 are stock that come with the actual template, but we're going to delete these later. Scroll down a little bit more. Looks fantastic. And then if you click on the view courses, it's going to take you to another page that shows you all of the courses. Just like this. Awesome. So let's go ahead and go back to the homepage. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. And so now we're back in Elementor. Make sure that our changes are updated, and they are, so I'm just going to close it. All right, guys, so now that we've finished customizing our site, we can go ahead and move on to step number 8, which is an overview of the LearnDash settings. Now, for the overview of the settings, we're going to go over to LearnDash on the left hand over here and click on Settings down here. And so the first thing I'm going to go over is the Custom Labels tab right here, but you can already see that there's a whole bunch of different settings that you can change within LearnDash, and then on top of that, you still got a whole bunch of different tabs that you can go through. I'm going to go to the Custom Labels tab first. So under the Custom Labels tab, you can change the terminology for anything in LearnDash. So for instance, if I wanted to change quizzes to exams, like that. Keep in mind, by the way, that there's plural and singular, plural, singular, because you got to change the exact words. So if I change quizzes plural to exams, and I scroll over here and hit save, you'll now see that it shows exams instead of quizzes, but I'm going to go ahead and reset that. Perfect. And so now you see it says quizzes right here. And you guys can go through here and play with it as much as you want. I usually just leave them how they are. I think it's just fine. So back in the general tab. The first thing that we're going to go over is the active template. And so we'll just kind of go one by one all the way through here. So the active template, you've got LearnDash 3.0. The other one is Legacy. This is like the older version or the older template. And so I'm sticking with LearnDash 3, but you guys can always, use that one if you prefer it. You've got accent color, progress color, and notification warnings, etc. colors right here. And so you can go ahead and change those. For my accent colors, I'm actually going to change them to a purple so that they match the theme of the website. So we'll go with something like that. I think that would look awesome. I'm going to go ahead and Command C this and Command V just so that the progress color is the same. Just like that. And then the notification warnings, etc., we can also change to a little bit more of a purple color. Maybe it's going to be like a little bit more of a pink. Something like that. So it kind of stands out just a little bit. It's a little bit brighter. Okay, so I think that looks good. And I'll show you where those pop up in just a second. And so now you've got the focus mode right here. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. Focus mode is just a unique feature that LearnDash has, and it's just providing a distraction-free experience for the course. And so it essentially puts the course into like a full screen mode. That way there's nothing else on the side or anything like that, except for the table of contents that would be on the left side. And so let me actually show you guys what that looks like right now. So we'll go up here to the top left-hand corner right here, and we'll click on Visit Site. But before we do, let's save, just so that everything we've done so far is applied. All right, and then I'm just going to open this on a new tab. And then I'll scroll down and click on the very first course that I see, just as an example. All right, and let's just pick one. All right, so this is how your course looks right now. So this is the default length right now. It's kind of like this. It's got some pretty big margins on the side. If I were to select narrow, for instance, so let's try that right now. Save. I'll go over to the tab again and refresh. All right, and now you see it's a little bit narrow. Let's do it one more time and I'll show you the full width. Save. All right, and then I'm just going to refresh this page. Perfect. And so now it's full width, which looks pretty big. I actually don't like it like this. I think the default looks great, so I'm just going to leave it on default. Let's go ahead and close out of that tab. Oh, and one more thing. You'll see that now everything is purple, which is what I set it to down here. So this is the accent color and progress color, which the progress color is just the progress bar, which I think is just on the main course page. Oh, it's up top right here. And so it's also right here. So it changes this to purple, and then anytime you actually mark anything complete, this bar will be purple, so that looks good. I'm going to close this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change it back to default and save. All right, and then scrolling through, we've got the login and registration, which is taken care of automatically through LearnDash, and so we don't even have to worry about it. The logo, which is the LearnDash logo, you guys probably saw it. It was in the top left corner right here when we opened it up. So we can actually select a different image. And so all I'm going to do is, within the media library right here, we already have it downloaded. Here it is. I'll actually use this one. Use the image, and so now it's actually my logo that's going to be there. Let's go ahead and show that. And then after hitting save, let's open on a new tab and click on a course. And then I'll just click on one of the topics here. Perfect. And so now you can see that my logo is displaying within LearnDash's focus mode. And so it's right here. So that looks awesome. Okay, so moving on, now we've got the video responsive CSS. And so this is basically just, if you have this checked, any videos that you place into your content is going to be automatically resized on different screens. So that's important. Global pagination settings. Pagination is just basically setting how many of something is viewed per page. So if you turn this on, it's just going to be how many courses per page while they're searching through all your courses, and how many quizzes per page. So you can be like 10 per page, and then anytime they hit 10 options, they hit next, that sort of thing. This is only important for people who have lots of courses. All right. And then admin user settings are pretty important, but I actually just leave these the way they are because they're set correctly, unless you want to change it for some reason. But for right now, course auto enrollment basically says that the admin is auto enrolled. So you don't have to create an account to view your own course after creating it. You can look at it while you're creating it, which is pretty important because you're the one actually making the course. So you should be able to hop in whenever you want. So you're basically a free membership here. So bypass course limits is just saying that if you have it set to like a linear path for your course, like they can't move on to part 2 until they finish part 1, you as the admin, you can just move freely through in your course. So you don't have to worry about anything. So that's checked and that's checked. That's good. Included in reports, that's just saying if you ever hit mark as complete or anything and you make progress in your own course as an admin login, you would not be included in any report cards or anything for metrics. So that's important as well. The rest of these API settings get pretty complicated pretty fast, so we're not going to cover any of these, but as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them. So let's go ahead and click save just in case I did anything else. All right, and the last thing I'm going to cover in our overview is the PayPal settings. So the PayPal settings, you would actually just pull this information from your own PayPal account. I believe it's on the dashboard, but you would put in your PayPal email right here, the currency, the country you're in, cancel URL, return URL, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So the use PayPal sandbox, this is just a checkbox for yes or no. And so the sandbox basically says, if I say yes, now it's in sandbox mode or test mode. And so basically any payments that I process right now aren't actually going to go through. It's just to, test your payment process to make sure it's working properly. And then you uncheck it when you're ready to go live. So right now I am not in the sandbox. All right, so there's one more tab that I want to talk about. All 4 of these are just going to be part of the pro version, which we didn't purchase, so you don't have to go into them. The last one I want to talk about is the Stripe settings, because you have 2 different payment methods under the LearnDash payment setting. And so you've got PayPal and Stripe. Stripe is basically credit card. So within the Stripe settings, this is where you actually link your Stripe account to your LearnDash account here. But I'm going to show you guys how to do that later on in the video, so don't worry about it right now. All right, so that is our overview of the settings for LearnDash. We just went over the general, custom labels, PayPal settings, and Stripe settings. So now we're going to be moving on to building an actual course. First, I want to talk to you guys about the fact that courses, lessons, and topics all have their own individual settings. And so you can go into the courses tab and there will be settings for it. Same with lessons and topics. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started on building a course. And so just a basic structure for how LearnDash constructs their courses. You've got a course, and within that course, you've got multiple lessons, and then within each lesson, you can have multiple topics. And then you can also add quizzes to a course. That's kind of how it works. So let's go ahead and click on the courses first. And when you do so, it's going to show you all courses. And so if I were to click on lessons, it would show all lessons, topics would be all topics, and so on. So now that I'm in the all courses section, I'm actually going to move over to the settings tab right here. Okay, so under settings, we've got the first one, which is global course management and display settings. And so this is the course builder right here. It's basically saying, do you want to use course builder or not? And this is pretty important. I would leave it checked because we're going to be using the builder to create everything. So I'm actually not sure why you would ever uncheck the builder or disable it. And then we've got course table pagination, which again is just saying how many of whatever you want per page. This would be for if you have a lot of lessons or topics. And then lesson and topic order, this is just sorting. And so if you turn this one on, you can sort it by whatever or order direction. And then course taxonomies, you've got course categories and tags and everything like that. This is just for categorizing your courses. And again, this is for if you have a lot of courses and not just like 1 or 2. And then this bottom part right here, you can enable the search bar or not, which I think is important. So I would just leave it checked. The archive page is just a page that has every single one of your courses. So if I were to click this and open it on a new tab, and then go over here and click on it, you'll see that it's just the archive of all courses that I have in total. And so it's just a page that has all of them, kind of in like a document format, just like this. So right now I've got 3 because those are the stock ones that come with the site. So I would leave that turned on as well, just so you have an archive of everything. And then the last part right here is editor supported settings. And so you can turn off featured images, you can turn on comments or custom fields, and then also revisions as well. I'd leave it how it is right now because you do want featured images. I'm not sure why you would ever want to turn them off. That's actually what pops up right here. Let me show you on our site. Down below. So this right here is the featured image. And so without it, it would just be this box with text. So I think it looks a lot better with the images on there. Let's close out of that tab. Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the basic settings, we can go ahead and move on to step number 9, which is to actually build our course. Now, I've created a fake course on the side to insert information for you as an example, utilizing dummy text and fake topics that I thought up. But this is where you would actually put your real content and actually build your course. So if you're looking for practice, then you can follow along with me in creating a fake course and using dummy text. But if you already have a course that you have created and put together and you're ready to start a business with, then this is the point right now where you're going to start entering your actual content for your own course. All right, so that's being said, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and open up my course. Okay, perfect. So I've got a fake course here, just a bunch of dummy text and then some basic topics that I thought up, just so we have something to place into our website. I'll close that tab. So let's go ahead and go over to the All Courses tab right here. We're going to go ahead and remove all 3 of these stuck courses because these are just fake courses that come with the template so that we can quickly edit them. But we're going to go ahead and remove all 3. Go to Bulk Actions, click on Move to Trash, and Apply. Okay, perfect. So let's go to the top right corner over here and click on Add New Course. All right, and so it's going to bring you into the block editor for WordPress. This is like the basic post or blog post or whatever editor that you have with WordPress. It's pretty easy to use. It works very similar to a Microsoft Word document or something like that. But all you have to do is you can click right here and create a title, and then you click right here and you can either start typing or click on this plus button, and then you can add small widgets that you can search right here. And so we'll be doing this in a second. So all I'm going to do is add a course title. All right, so that's my course title. I can type in a little subtitle right here, but I already have one, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. There we go. And then I'm going to click out of it, go over to the side menu over here, and I'll click on Featured Image. I'm going to go ahead and add an image, and so I'll just go to Upload Files. And I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to click on Select Featured Image, just like this. And so now it loaded. I'll click on Publish, and Publish again. Okay, perfect. So close out of this. Let's go ahead and preview the changes we just did. We can go ahead and open our site on a new tab, or we can just click on the preview button right here and open on a new tab. And now this is what our course looks like so far. We've got a basic image with our title and then also a progress bar and our subtext. And so this is right here where you would actually put in like a short description. I just had, walking into any situation with skill and confidence, but you would put out like a small paragraph just kind of explaining what the course is about. And so this is just the intro page. Let's close out of that tab. So from here, now that we've created a title page, essentially, let's go ahead and go into the builder and actually build the course. And so you can see right here, the course has no content yet. So let's go ahead and add a lesson. So we'll go right here to the Add Lesson button. So it's initially going to ask for a title. So we'll type in something like, just like that. And so we'll click on Add Lesson. Okay, so we've got one lesson right here. And so from here, we can go ahead and click on the blue pencil icon and edit the name like this, but I'm going to save it. Or we can click on the edit tab right here, and now we're actually going to edit the first introductory page of the lesson. And then this drop down arrow lets you see whatever topics are underneath it, but we haven't done topics yet, so I'm going to bring it up. Let's click on edit right here. I'll open it on a new tab. And so this is going to be the editor for the actual first lesson. So I think this is lesson 1 intro page. And so for this intro page, let's go ahead and copy the same thing. Just like that. I'll paste it a couple more times just so there's a good paragraph and click update. All right, so let's go ahead and preview what this one looks like. We'll just click on the preview button and open in a new tab. Okay, so this is our lesson 1, history of cameras, our introduction right here. And so I think it looks pretty snazzy. Close that tab. If we go back to the course page, you'll see that the history of cameras is right here. If, for instance, I was to add another lesson and just type in something else, let's just do this for now. You'll see that I can actually drag and drop these lessons and replace the order just like this. And so I'm going to go over here and click on remove. Okay, so we've got the history of cameras right here. Update to save my work. All right, and so let's go back into the lesson. So this is the history of cameras lesson that we're editing here. From here, we can go over to the settings tab, and we actually have specific settings just for the lesson. And so we can include lesson materials. So for instance, if they were to open this lesson, you would have a resource tab here where they can click on it and download, let's just say like a formula sheet or something like that, if this was a math course. And so you can include lesson materials here, and you just add media form, or you could type it in right here. For video progression, if you turn this on, this is basically saying that whatever video URL you put right here, they have to watch it completely before they can move on. Next, we have the assignment uploads. And so this one is just asking how you want your homeworks essentially turned in. And so you can set specific kind of documents or file extensions here. So you can say I only accept PDF. For file size limit, you can do a different limit for the homework assignments. You can assign points. And so if I click on this one, this is how many points are awarded when they finish the assignment. You can do a grading type. Is it auto approve or is it a manual grade? And then if it is a manual grade, what's the limit of how many times they can upload? So if they accidentally upload the wrong file, how many times can they re-upload? And then is there a file deletion, or do you want all of their mistakes to be saved so you can look at everything? Or you can just say they can delete what they want. So that's that one right there. And then we've got the forced lesson timer as well. So you can basically just put a timer on the course and it'll ask you how much time. So let's go ahead and turn off the assignment uploads. Scroll down just a little bit. You can also do the associated course. This is so if you were going to change history of cameras and you were like, actually, I want to take history of cameras and put this into a completely different course, but I don't want to delete it and then redo it. You can actually just change the associated course right here. And so then you would just search another course that you have right here. For instance, if I had another course called another course, you would just click on it, but this is the only course I have, obviously. And then you could actually change what course it's under. So then you can do this as a sample lesson. So basically this is a freebie. And then lesson release schedule, you can say either immediately or enrollment based or a specific date, and then you can actually specify the date. All right, and then the last one is course grid settings, and so this is just like a short description and stuff. Cool. We'll go ahead and click on update to save our work. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a few different topics underneath this lesson. So if we go back to our course right here, we've got the history of cameras. I'm gonna go ahead and add a drop down. And so from here, I can click on add new topic. And it's gonna ask me for a title. So let me go ahead and just grab the first title here. Just like that, add the topic. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the topics under the first one. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, guys, welcome back. So I went ahead and took the last 4 topics right here from lesson 1 and just edited them in here. And so now under each one of these, you can actually edit it. So if I hover over camera obscura, I can go all the way over to the side and click on edit. I'm actually gonna open it on a new tab. So edit on a new tab. So this is the first one, and this would be where I would paste my content. I just got some dummy text here. Click on update. And then we can go ahead and close out of this one. If we go to plate camera, we can go all the way over to this side and click edit. And let's say in this one, we actually wanted to paste a picture. So we can go over to the checkbox right here and type in image. And we can upload it or take it from the media library. I'm just gonna choose a random image. Let's say that I actually want it to be rounded. And I actually want to change the size of the image. So I'm gonna come over here and grab it and just drag it to be smaller. And then for the alignment, I want it to be centered, just like this. And then right underneath, put some dummy text like this. Click update. Close out of that one. Let's do the third topic. All right, on this one, let's say I wanted to put in a video because most online courses are actually videos. So let's go ahead and try that here. I'll type in video. And then from here, we can insert from a URL. All right, and so I've just got a placeholder YouTube video that I'm gonna use. Just copy and paste the hyperlink right into our website, right here. Click enter. And you'll see we've got our video right here. And so then down below, you could add some text if you wanted to, just like that. Click on update. Okay, and so that's how you add different topics, and then you can add different videos or text or images or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a few more lessons to this one, just so that it's a little bit full, and then I'm gonna show you a preview of what it looks like. So I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I did the exact same thing for the history of cameras on the DSLR and then why you should choose DSLR. I basically just created 3 different lessons And then you'll see that I put some topics underneath. I just copy pasted the text just to save you guys some time of viewing. And so DSLR is right there. And then the third lesson is why you should choose DSLR, 4 different things, but there's nothing in them. I haven't put anything like dummy text in there. So let's go ahead and preview the course. So from here, this is the course title introductory image. And so the course content is basically just a table of contents. It's just all 3 lessons right here. And you can see how many topics per lesson. And we've also got a progress bar. So you can expand all if you want, and then you can see the topic names, but you can't see any of the actual content until you actually click on it. And so then you've got the introductory lesson content. This is just like another table of contents for the different topics underneath this lesson. So right now I'm in the lesson. Here's the 4 topics. I could say mark the introduction as complete. So it's complete. So now I can go into the different lesson topics. So let's just choose topic 1. So now I am deep into the lesson. This is the first topic. I say mark as complete. And now it automatically moves me to the second one every time I hit mark as complete. So that's pretty cool. And then you can also see the progress bar is moving up. So now I'm 14% through the actual course. All right, so let's go ahead and close this guy out. So that's how you build your first course. We've got one course with 3 lessons and multiple topics in each lesson. So one more time, I'm just going to click update to save my work. Okay, so now that I've saved, I'm going to go ahead and toggle these guys up. So these are my 3 lessons. Now underneath each of these lessons, I could either add a final quiz right here. And so this quiz is over all 3, or I can go into one of them. So I expand one, and I can add a quiz for lesson 1. And then the same, I can do a quiz for lesson 2 and a quiz for lesson 3. So you can either have no quizzes in the lessons and just go to the very end and have one final quiz, and you would just click it here, or you can do quizzes in between. And so let me just show you how to build a quiz. They're the same if you do final or new. It's just a matter of when the student will encounter the quiz. So let's go ahead and click on add new quiz. I'll do it to the first one right here. It's going to ask you for a title. So I just call the quiz quiz 1. And so we'll click on add quiz. So let's go ahead and edit the actual quiz. So again, you can click on the blue icon and change the name, or go all the way to the edge and click on edit. Okay, so this is the quiz page. So this is what they see, and then all of the questions will be down below. So again, if you wanted to, you could do something like an image. I've already used this picture before, but I'm just going to use it again. So something like this, we can make it a little bit smaller. Say the alignment is center, and then just put some text down here, just like that. All right, and then after clicking on update, I'm going to move over to the builder. And so now we are inside of quiz 1, inside of the quiz builder. So the quiz builder is the same thing as a course builder. So inside of the quiz, you've got multiple questions with multiple answers. So let's go ahead and add the first question. So question 1 has a title. The title will not display. It's just a title for you on the back end to know which question is what. And so the titles are always going to be question 1, question 2, question 3. That's how I do it. But of course you can name them whatever you want. All right, so question 1, there's a little mark here because question 1 is not ready to go yet. So we're going to go over here to the dropdown. So first thing I want to show you is the type of question. So you've got single choice, multiple, free, sorting, matrix, all the way down, bunch of different types. We're going to go through each one of them right now. So the first one is single choice. This is basically multiple choice with one answer that's correct. So we're going to go over here. You've got a question and you've got an answer. So for the question, this is what's actually going to display. So you could say something like these are all going to be incredibly easy questions, just for example purposes. So now I can add an answer. And so answer number 1 is going to be, I can do another answer, and so on. So I can just add more and more. So I've got correct answer, wrong answer. So which one's correct? Let's say correct answer is the correct option, just like that. So correct answer is the correct one. All right, let's go ahead and add another question. Title's going to be question 2. Perfect. Oh, and then question settings, they're pretty general. It's just a message for a correct answer, message for an incorrect answer, and then you can also put a solution hint. And then when you click this, you can type out an actual hint, but I'm not going to do that. So for question 2, we're going to go ahead and open the dropdown. So we have a question and we have an answer. So let's go ahead and change the type to multiple choice. And so for the question, we'll say, what is 1 + 1? And then for the answer, so when it is multiple choice, that means it's the same as question 1. It's multiple choice, but they can select all that apply. And so I'm going to say this one's right and this one's right, just like that. So you can select multiple correct answers rather than this one only being one or the other, or however many options you have, of course. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. All right, so let's go ahead and edit number 3. So let's do the dropdown. So we've got question and answer. I'm going to go ahead and change this one to the third option, which is free choice. All right, so the question is going to be, you tell them to type something out, for example. So I'm just going to click save. And the answer is going to be converted into lowercase. So even if I said hi like this, it would automatically be converted to lowercase. So I'm just going to type in the lowercase. And so this would be something like, what is the first month in the year? And then you would say January. And so they would type out January. And so the computer will convert it to lowercase and then compare it to what the correct answer is, which for me it's hi, and I'm asking them to say hi. So it's pretty easy. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Okay, and then for question 4, we're going to make this one a sorting choice. And so for a sorting choice, it's basically going to have multiple options, and they have to click and drag them into order. And so for the question, you could say something like this. All right, and then for the answer, you would type something out like, all right, so I think that looks good. And so it'll randomly put 3 of these into a random order, and then they'll obviously see that first, second, and third, and they'll put it into order. All right, so question number 5. Okay, let's go ahead and go over here. And so question number 5 is going to be a matrix sorting. And so it's similar to the regular sorting where they drag and drop to put them in order. But for this one, it's going to be, I put 2 categories here, and then they have to click from a bunch of different options and drag them into which one applies. So for instance, let's say the question. All right, and then here we get to actually edit the answers. And so you've got a category and then an actual answer. And so for the category, let's say, and then we can add another one. All right. And so now 1, 2, 3 and ABC would be up here on top, and then numbers and letters would be right here. And so they would just click and drag 1, 2, 3 and put it into the numbers category. And then they would click and drag ABC and put it into the letters category. And I'll show you all of these. I'm about to hit preview just to show you guys. All right, we only have 1 or 2 more questions left. So let's go ahead and go down to question number 6. Okay, and number 6 is going to be a fill in the blank. So this would be the question, like, what year is it? And then the answer would be 2021. And so they would type in 2021, just as an example. And so I'm just going to type in just like that. And so whatever the actual answer that you want the computer to read, you want to put it into these squiggly brackets just like this. And so I'm going to click update answer. All right, next question, number 7. All right, and so question number 7, after fill in the blank, is going to be assessment. All right, and so here, it's basically like a rate your performance kind of thing, and it's going to be anywhere from 1 to 5, for instance. And so 1 being not so happy and 5 being very happy. So for instance, and then for the answer, the way you're supposed to correctly type it in is right over here. So you use the brackets to mark the assessment. And then the text on the outside is what's actually going to display. So I'm just going to copy and paste this just like that and click update answer. And finally, question 8. And so question number 8 is going to be an essay or open answer. And so this is one that you will actually manually have to grade this question. So for question 8, we'll change the question to just like that. And then you can edit some answer settings, but from here on out, you actually just have to read the essay and then grade it based on how you want. And so that's for the essay or open answer. So let's go ahead and click on update to save our work. Perfect. Let's go ahead and scroll all the way up to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and click on preview and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so quiz number 1, it has this intro page right on top. And so there's the picture that I reused, as you can see, and then just the dummy text. And so you can click on start quiz. And so it says which answer is correct. So this is the single multiple choice. So correct answer or wrong answer. And then what's 1 + 1? This is the one where you can check multiple. 2 and 2, not 3. Say hi, and so I'm going to type hi, just like that. And the computer is going to translate this into lowercase and then read if it's the same as what the answer was, which I said the answer was hi. Place in the following order. So this is the sorting question. And as you can see, I just order them first, second, third. That's the correct answer because that's what I set. This is the matrix sorting. And so you see numbers and letters are their categories, and then these are the options. And so numbers go into the numbers, letters go into the letters, as you can see. The fill in the blank with play is the fill in the blank option. And so here, again, the computer is going to translate it into a lowercase. And then rate my course is where you essentially rate whether you love it or you hate it. And so this doesn't have a correct answer, and neither does the essay question. This is one that you would have to grade on your own. And then the write me an essay. And so this is where someone would just type a random essay, but I'll just leave blank and finish the quiz. Perfect. And then it's going to actually grade your quiz based on the answers that you set. But of course, remember the rate or the assessment question and the essay question will not be graded. All right. And then you can see that I got 7 out of 8 answers correct. And so it's the essay question that's not done. So you can restart or view the questions and it'll show you your results. And so all of that is done automatically through LearnDash. So that's pretty sweet. Close out of the tab and close out of the quiz. All right. And go back to the courses tab. Let's go ahead and click on update just in case this one didn't refresh. Perfect. And so now you can go back to courses. So now that we've gone over all of the different parts to building your course, let's go ahead and go over permissions and access and those kinds of settings. So the way you do that, you actually have to select each individual course to set those settings. And so for instance, if you had a bunch of courses, you'd have to go into edit and change those because each course has its own access. So you might have this one is a paid course, this is a free course, this is, and so on. So let's go ahead and click on edit. This is the only course we have. All right. And so on this course, we can go over to the settings tab right here. So we've got the course materials in case you wanted to add material that goes for the entire course rather than putting materials in each lesson or each topic. You can put it in the course right here. And so if this was a formula sheet for course number 1, you could do something like that just as an example. Course certificate, we're about to go over certificates and I'll talk about them in a little bit. So course content, you can say it's always visible or only visible to enrollees. And so basically what that means is the course content is that table of contents that was on the introduction page. And so you can say that's always visible, which means they can see the different topics you're going to cover, but they don't see the actual content. Or you can say it's only visible to enrollees. And so they don't even get to see the content topics. So I'll just leave that on always visible. Custom pagination, again, this is just how many of whatever you want per page. And then custom lesson order, this is just sorting them. Now, course access settings. Right here, access mode, this is a very important step. We're going to be talking about this a lot in the video. So go ahead and pay attention to this part if you haven't to the rest of the video. So for access mode, we've got open, which basically means open and free. And so this course is not protected whatsoever. I can just log on to this website. I don't have to create an account. I don't have to enroll or anything, and I can just view the course. And so if you wanted to do a little freebie, that's kind of a taster or a teaser for the rest of your content that you're going to be producing, you can choose an open course. A free course is the same as an open course, except for you have to enroll. So it's still free, but you at least have to go through the registration process so I know you're a student and I get your email address. But then it's free. You don't have to pay anything. There's no additional fee. So the buy now is you have to enroll and you have to pay for the course. It's of course protected by LearnDash and their built-in PayPal or Stripe system. And so basically the student logs in through LearnDash because they take care of the membership program. And then the student pays LearnDash for the course. They get instant access and then LearnDash pays you through PayPal or Stripe. A reoccurring is the same as buy now. It's just they set up a reoccurring membership fee kind of thing. And then lastly, you have closed. Now closed is similar to buy now, but it's just a little bit different. If you read right here, the course can only be accessed through admin enrollment. And so basically what this means is that LearnDash no longer takes care of the enrollment process. So now you're going to take care of getting their payments and things like that. So buy now would go straight through the PayPal that comes automatic with LearnDash. Closed, you would have to use WooCommerce, then Stripe, and then something like CartFlows. And I'm going to show you guys that entire process. It's a little bit more involved, but we'll get there in just a little bit. So that's later on in the video. So that's just closed for you. Then you can set up course prerequisites right here. And so basically if you check this, you select another course. And so if I had multiple courses, you would just click here and search whatever course you want. And you're basically saying that they have to finish this course before they can take the course that we're editing right now, if that makes sense. And so you can do any selected or all selected. Turn that off. Course points is basically how many points are awarded for finishing it or how many are required for access. So this is kind of a prerequisite in itself. You could say that I have a prerequisite of 30 points. And so you have to go get 30 points from other courses to take this course. So this could be more of like an intermediate or an expert course. And then lastly, you've got the course access expiration, and you can basically just set an expiration date. So after this many days I've allotted, they can't reach the course anymore. You've got the course progression, and so you've got linear, which means that they just progress through the course, step 1, step 2, step 3. They can't go from 1 all the way over to step 3. They can't skip. And so it's kind of similar to the video progression where they cannot skip along in the video. They're required to watch the whole video all the way through. And so freeform is basically there's no restriction. They can skip to step 9 and then back to 2 and then over to 3. They can go wherever they want. As long as they finish the course, they get their credit. And then lastly, down here, we've got the actual course grid settings. And so if I go back to my website and scroll down, we can actually customize this just a little bit. All we can do is change this ribbon text. We can change the button text, and then we can also add a short description. So if I go up here to the settings, again, you'll see the short descriptions right here. And so if I were to paste in some dummy text, just like this, and then if I were to change the button text to check it out, and then for the ribbon text, I would say, enroll now, and I click on update. I'm going to go back to my website and hit refresh. You'll now see that the short description is there. We've changed the button text, and now the enroll now says enroll now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close the preview, and I'm just going to clear all that out because I think the stock look looks better. And update. Perfect. So now I'm going to go back to our dashboard. Okay. So lastly, let's talk about certificates. Now, you can set up certificates for your course through LearnDash as well, but they are quite involved in the process to make one, so I'm not going to cover it in this video. However, I am going to show you guys how to watch a video on how to learn to put one together. And so basically, you'll just go up to a new tab and go to LearnDash's website, www.learndash/support. And so this is actually LearnDash's support website where you have a search bar and you can search any questions you have. And this is probably one of the best support sites that I've seen. And so if you click on search, we can type in certificates right here in the search bar. And then you can choose right here, create a certificate. And if you scroll all the way down to the very bottom, there's actually a 50-minute video, or I think it's like 54 minutes, on actually creating your own certificate through LearnDash. And so this is a pretty helpful video right here. And then any other questions that you have, I definitely recommend checking out this website for LearnDash support because there's a lot of different posts in here that can help you out. All right, so we've built a course, we put it all together, we have a quiz, and we know where to learn how to do certificates. We can go ahead and move on to step number 10, which is to set up payment methods. When it comes to payment methods using LearnDash, you have two different paths that you can take, and it all depends on the access mode that you choose. If you choose the open, free, buy now, or recurring options, then the payment is taken care of by LearnDash automatically. LearnDash will use PayPal or Stripe and then take the student straight to the course afterwards. Now, PayPal comes default with LearnDash, but Stripe is what we added through LearnDash add-ons menu at the very beginning of the tutorial. That's the first route. The second route is my personal preference and the most customizable option using WooCommerce, Stripe, and CartFlows. And we're going to be using these plugins paired together to provide a fully customizable checkout experience for your client, which looks so much better than the automatic option. In a moment, I'm going to show you guys how to set that up completely. Before we get into the second route, I wanted to show you guys one more time where to edit the actual automatic options. So we're going to go to LearnDash and click on Settings. Now, once you go to the LearnDash settings right over here and fill out the PayPal and Stripe tabs, you're set. However, the student will only see a basic and rather plain checkout screen. So after filling out these two tabs, you can now select the open, free, buy now, and recurring access modes. And again, it's the PayPal tab right here and the Stripe tab right here. For the second route, you have to select the closed access mode before we go any further. So I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and go back to my course. I'm going to open it up on a new tab. Scroll on down and select the course that I want to edit. Remember, I mentioned this earlier in the video when I covered the closed access mode, but selecting closed means that LearnDash no longer takes control over enrolling and payment for processes. You are now in control. You have to manually grant your students access to the course upon completion of their purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and click on closed. With CartFlows, we're going to create a fully customizable checkout using Elementor, which is the same page builder that we use to customize the homepage. Using this route, you can do things like bundle your courses for discounts, you can add coupon codes, you can theme out your checkout page, and much more. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do all of this in the very next step. All right, so now that you guys have a better understanding of the 2 ways that you can process payment in LearnDash, we can now move on to the next step, which is step number 11, setting up WooCommerce with CartFlows. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where things get interesting. So we're going to be talking about how to set up WooCommerce and then also the closed access that I was talking about earlier. It's definitely a much more tedious process using multiple plugins. However, it's definitely my personal preference between the two. Using this method paired with the closed access control will let you be able to fully customize the checkout process rather than just having a boring looking checkout screen. You're going to be able to fully customize the checkout experience. So I'm going to click on it. All right, and so now we are in CartFlows. I'm actually just going to go ahead and close out of all these tabs because we don't need them anymore. So within CartFlows, what we're going to do is go ahead and click on flows. And so what a flow is it's basically a series of pages here that we get to customize using Elementor. And so CartFlows provides these pages, and then it also provides a checkout page as well as a thank you page and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over to the flows tab and click on add new. And so here, CartFlows actually provides you with lots and lots of different templates that you can use, which are all multi-page sales funnels, which is incredible. So I'm actually going to go ahead and select this one right here. And so you can scroll through. So we've got a landing page. So this would be something like, hey, my course is amazing. Let's get started. So this would be the payment button. They click on that button and it would take them to the checkout page. And so here's the checkout page, which you can fully customize in Elementor. So you can change the pictures, the backgrounds, you can move the spacing around, make it look all interesting. And then from there, when they click place order, it'll take them to a thank you page. And so it looks a lot more involved rather than if you just go with the PayPal option, it will straight up just have them log into PayPal and then set up a payment through there. So this is a lot more involved and you're a lot more in control of the payment flow. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top right corner and click on import flow right here. And it's going to import all 3 of these pages. So I get to enter in a title for my flow. So we'll just call it just like that and import. Okay, perfect. And so now CartFlows is going to take you to this steps or this workflow builder essentially. And you can actually think of this very similar to the LearnDash builder. So you can go over here to view and edit just like you did on the LearnDash builder for the course. And then over here, we've got the landing page. I can click and drag these to be in whatever order I want. So first they go to the checkout page, then a landing page, and then thank you. But I mean, they're already in the correct order, so I would just leave them. Just to let you know though, you can of course rearrange them however you want. So let's go ahead and view this one right here. All right, so we've just imported the site. So this is what it looks like. And again, you can edit with Elementor by clicking this button right here, and you'll be able to edit everything on here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out of this tab here. And so now you can go ahead and go into the actual checkout page and you can click on edit. And when you do, you can edit in Elementor right here. And so this is the design tab. You can go over to the products tab and you can add a new product. So we're gonna actually take one of our courses from LearnDash, we're gonna insert it into WooCommerce as a product, and then we're gonna insert that product into CartFlows right here. So that's kind of a basic overview of what we're about to do. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're gonna go over to the products tab right here, which comes with WooCommerce when we install that plugin, which WooCommerce came with the template, so that's all cool. We'll go over to add new product. Now I'm going to do pretty much just overview work in WooCommerce. Now, if you're looking for a video on how to actually use WooCommerce in, a complete version, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel where I teach you guys how to build an entire online store from start to finish, inserting products and everything using WooCommerce. And it's a completely free video, so you guys can go ahead and check that out on the channel. I'll put a link down in the description as well in case you're interested in how to use WooCommerce. So for now, I'm going to go kind of fast, but we're going to insert a product name, which is just going to be the same as my course name. Just like that. And then we can scroll on down. We're going to change it from a simple product all the way down to a course. Now, for those of you who are already familiar with WooCommerce, you'll notice that course is actually a new product. Normally, it's just these 4 right here. And the reason that course pops up is because remember in LearnDash, we went ahead and went to the add-ons tab and we added WooCommerce integration for LearnDash. And so now course is an option, which is really cool. And so now you can set the price for the course. So let's just, for example, say it's $199. So you have to pay $199 for this. Scroll down a little bit more. And we'll say that the LearnDash groups and LearnDash courses, we'll select it as everything you need to know. That's the course. And so now this course is a product in my WooCommerce. You can also do LearnDash groups, which are basically multiple courses as a group, and then you can select that group. And so you have to kind of create that folder of courses if you want over in LearnDash. I'm not going to go over that though. All right, and then you can add a short description. You can add a product image and everything too if you want to, but I'm just going to leave it like this. One more thing, I do see that it says the pound symbol right here. And so if you wanted to change this, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. You just go over to WooCommerce and down to settings. I'm going to open it on a new tab. And you would scroll down under the general tab, actually, scroll down here, down to the bottom for currency options. And so you would change pounds to United States dollar. And then currency position, we always keep the dollar on the left, and then everything here is good. So the thousand operator, decimal, and how many decimals. Save those changes. Cool. I'm going to close that. And now back on this product, I have to refresh this page, but if I do, I'll lose my progress. So I'll publish and then refresh. Perfect. Let's see if it actually refreshed at the same time. It did. Okay, so now we've saved our work and it refreshed the page, so now it says dollars right here. So that's pretty good. You can also set a sale price if you want to and schedule it out by clicking right here, but I'm not going to. All right, so now that we have a product, we can actually go back to our CartFlows. And we'll go back to all of our flows right here. And so under all flows, we have different flows right here. So there's the one we just created. This one is just a stock flow that comes with CartFlows and the whole template. And so I'm just going to actually delete this one real quick. So delete permanently and apply. All right, so now we can go ahead and click on Create a Pro Photo Flow. And then under the checkout page, we're going to go over to the Edit button and click on Edit. And so this page you can edit with Elementor right here because we're under the Design tab. And so there's just another spot you can do it. But I'm going to go to the Products tab and add that product that we just created. So you can search from the products and it's automatically going to pull from my Products tab right here. So I will say, now it's the only product I have, but if I have a bunch of products, you'd see some other ones that might have every in it. And I'm going to click Add Product. And you'll see right there, it added the product, so we're good to go. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom corner and click on Save Settings. Okay, and so now that we've added the product and we've saved the settings, let's click the back button and we'll actually hook it up to a course. So now what you would do is you would normally open the landing page, which you've edited all three at this point. You would take the landing page, open it and view it, which I'm about to do, and you'd copy the hyperlink, and then we're going to put it into the course. But just for ease purposes, because my product page or the landing page isn't edited, it'll look confusing, I'm just going to take the product page. So to do this, I'd click View and copy this hyperlink. As you can see, it's unedited. And close this out. And so again, you would just take this link and that way it would go 1, 2, 3, but now it's just going to go 1, 2 like this. And so now I'm going to go up to LearnDash and click on Courses. I'm going to go down to this course right here, and I'm going to click on Edit. And then from here, we're going to go over to the Settings tab. We'll go ahead and scroll on down, and you'll see the access mode right here, and so we can change it to closed. Now, really quickly, I want to show you the difference between closed and buy now on an incognito tab. So let me show you. Buy now, I'll set the price to $199 again. I'm going to go ahead and click Update. Okay, so now that it's updated, let me show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and visit the store on a new tab. And so from here, let's go down to the course. Okay, and so now that I'm on my course, I'm actually going to copy the hyperlink, close this tab, and I'm going to go open this up on a new incognito tab. That way the computer does not recognize me as admin and just let me in. It's going to show me what it looks like when someone tries to get in my course. And so now this would be the introduction page, and now this new spot right here has opened up. And so you've got the not enrolled button, and so it's telling me you're not enrolled. This is the price. And so if I click login right here, it's going to open me up to the custom login page that comes with LearnDash. And again, they take care of the entire membership process. So they log in everyone, and so that way anytime you're not on your website, people can still log in and take your courses, and that's how this becomes a passive income. And by the way, you can notice right here that there actually isn't an option to create a new account, and to change that, let me go ahead and show you right now. You'll just go back to the dashboard, and then from here we're going to drop down to the settings. I'm just going to open it up on a new tab real quick. It's a super easy fix. So now that we're in the settings general tab just for WordPress down here, we're going to scroll on down. Right here where it says membership, we're going to click on anyone can register. And so now it's going to open up a registration tab. So now someone can either log into an existing account or they can sign up for a new account. And then we're also going to change this new user role right here down to customer. So let's go ahead and scroll on down and click on Save Changes. So let me go ahead and close this. So now I'm going to show you what happens when I change it to a closed course. So let's go back to closed. Still set the course price to $199. And now I'm going to paste the button URL from my cart flow. So view it real quick. Copy the hyperlink. And so now when they click the button, it's going to take them straight to my checkout page, my personal checkout page, rather than LearnDash's. So then I'll click on update. Perfect. So now I'm going to open the website up on a new tab. Scroll on down to my course, click on it. And I'll open this up on a new incognito tab. Perfect. So now when it's a closed course, you'll notice that it's different. It says take this course rather than just log in. And so now instead of going straight to LearnDash, logging in and paying for the course, it's going to do something else. So I click on course and it'll take me straight to my own custom checkout page. And so this is where they'll actually enter in their own personal information. So now I take control of the payment process, and then they can click on place order and it'll take them to the thank you page. Notice right here, you've got an option for a coupon code. So that's really important because now you can set up coupon codes through WooCommerce and then you can discount your course appropriately. If you're looking for how to use coupon codes and things like that, that is also going to be in the WooCommerce video when I show you how to use the entire program. So just stay tuned for that video. It'll be down in the description. And in addition to that, if you're interested in looking about how to actually edit the landing page, stay tuned to my channel because we're going to be putting out another video on how to produce a landing page very soon. So keep checking. All right, guys, so now that we've hooked up the closed access mode in LearnDash to the checkout page right here, there's one final thing we have to do, and that's to set up Stripe so that it connects to this checkout page so we can actually get credit card and PayPal payments from it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to go over to the WooCommerce tab and drop down to the settings tab right here. I'm going to open it up on a new tab. And then from here, we're going to go all the way over to the payments tab. And there's a few things that we have to do. So first, let's go ahead and make sure that Stripe for the credit card payments are activated. So I'm going to click right here. And then we're also going to make sure that the PayPal standard is also activated. So we're going to click on this one. Scroll down and click on Save Changes. All right, so now there's two ways that you can get into Stripe to set it up for the credit card payment. You can either go right here and click on the Manage button right here, or you can go over to the Installed Plugins at the very bottom. You can scroll all the way down to WooCommerce Stripe Gateway and click on these settings right here. So just two ways of getting to the same place. Now, from here, this is where we're going to have to actually set up Stripe, and it gets a little complicated, so bear with me. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. All right, the first thing we're going to do is go to the webhook endpoints right here, and we're going to click on this link that says Stripe Account Settings. I'm going to open it on a new tab. I definitely recommend opening it on a new tab because we're going to be bouncing back and forth between the Stripe tab and our WooCommerce settings a lot. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth. So right here, this is where you're going to sign up for your Stripe account. And so you have to sign up for Stripe. It's a free service, but they're going to be taking care of the credit card payments and everything. So down below is where you would click on the sign up button. Now I already have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in, but the sign up process for Stripe is just like LearnDash. It's very easy and they're going to walk you through the entire process. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, guys. So once you guys log into your account and set it up, we're going to be good to go right here on the dashboard. And so there's going to be two initial steps that you guys have to take, and they're going to be right here in some of these arrows. So the first one is just going to be to confirm your email. And so you'll just click on the link, go to a new tab, and you'll open up your Gmail, and then you'll just confirm it by clicking on the email that they send you right away. And so it's that easy, and then you can go right back to your Stripe dashboard. And then the second step is going to be clicking on activate your account, which is going to be like right here. And so when you activate your account, it's just going to ask you for a bunch of information about your business. It's going to ask for your bank information, your credit card statement information, and so on. And then it's going to ask you to do a two-step authentication for your account, and that's pretty much it. So once you guys do that, you'll be taken back to your dashboard just like this, and we can get started on connecting Stripe to our WooCommerce account. Okay, so the first step is to grab our API key. And so we're going to go over to the developer tab right over here on the left-hand side, click on it, and it's going to drop down a menu, and then we'll go over to the API keys right here. So let's go ahead and look at our publishable key right here. Now mine's blurred out for obvious reasons because it's confidential, but before we copy to paste it, we're going to go over to the view test data and click on that one right here. And so now our API key is in test mode, and so nothing is permanent just yet. We can turn this off when we're ready to go live. It's the same thing as the sandbox mode when you're in PayPal. So we'll go over here to the publishable key and click to copy. Now I'm going to go back to my WooCommerce tab and paste that key right here. And now the test secret key, we're going to go back to the API key tab right here, and you'll see secret key right below. And so we'll just go over to reveal the test key. And of course it's blurred out again, but you just click to copy it again. And we'll go back to WooCommerce and paste it. Now the test webhook secret, we're going to have to pull, but the first thing we have to do is go to the webhook endpoints again. And instead of clicking on this, we're actually going to copy and paste this URL into our Stripe account. So I'm going to copy it, go to the API keys again. This time we'll go down to webhooks over here on the left-hand side. Okay, and then for webhooks, we're going to go over here to the right-hand side and click on add endpoint. And this is where we're going to paste that URL that we copied from our website. And then the description is optional, so I'm going to leave it. And then for events to send, this is essentially what we're going to be using this webhook for, or our Stripe account for. And so when you click on it, you're going to search charge, because we want to charge people for your courses. And you'll see that it automatically adds everything that you're going to need for charge succeeded, refunded, pending, failed, expired, everything. And I think there's like 13 events. Yeah, and you can scroll down and look at them if you want. So now we're going to click on add endpoint. All right, so now a webhook has been added for our website. We can scroll right here and see that our signing secret webhook key is right below. Click to reveal. And right here, this one is not a click to copy, so just highlight it and copy it. And now we're going to paste it into our website right here for webhook secret. All right, and then after entering in the webhook, we can go down to statement descriptor. And so what you type right here is basically just going to show up on your student's credit card statement when they purchase whatever they're doing on your course. And so you could do something like that. So that's create a pro photo course. And so that's what's going to show up on their credit card statement. All right, and so the rest of it's down below. I don't really touch, so we're just going to leave it, but it all works the way it is, so it's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. Okay, and so all of that bouncing back and forth means that our Stripe is now integrated with our WooCommerce, so we are good to go there. So now let me go ahead and show you guys what we just did. So I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. We're going to go back to our CartFlows tab, and I'm going to click on the refresh. All right, so now we're back on our checkout page. I'm going to go all the way over to the right-hand side and click on View. Perfect. So now if we scroll down, you'll actually see right here, it no longer says, sorry, no payment methods are available. We can actually select PayPal, or we can choose credit card and then click on proceed to PayPal. Another interesting thing to note, if you click on credit card right now, you'll notice that it's in test mode because we enabled the test mode in our Stripe account. And so if we want to test out our payment method just to make sure that it works, we could use this fake credit card number, paste it right here. We can also type in any CVC or valid expiration date. So it could be anything, 1234, 123. And then you can say place order and it'll do a fake payment just so that you can see what happens through your WooCommerce account. And so you guys can play with that as much as you want. I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. Okay, so now that we've actually tested out the test function for Stripe, now I want to show you guys something that's really important. On the back end, while I was off camera, I already placed a fake order using that fake credit card, the one that Stripe provides. So I want to show you guys how to actually do something really important, which is to manage the orders and then also to actually manually enroll or unenroll someone from a course. And this is when you actually have a closed course. So first we're going to go over to the WooCommerce tab and click on orders. Now, every time someone clicks on that Enroll Now button and it takes them to that custom checkout page and the custom thank you page, then you're going to get an email notification saying that they signed up for the course. So they can always go over to the My Account section on the website, they can log in, and now they have access to the course. It automatically gives them that access. So right here, you can see the 2 orders that I created. And so this is just managing your orders. If you wanted to, you can do different actions like move to trash or change it to on hold or something like that. And then also, you can go up to LearnDash and you can manually enroll or unenroll someone. So we're going to go over to the Courses tab. We'll go down to the actual course that someone enrolled for, which for me, it's the Lightroom one. So I'm going to click on Edit. And here under the Settings tab, you'll actually be able to see who is actually enrolled. So we'll scroll on down. And right here, we have Course Users. And so we have all users and then the assigned users. And so when someone makes a purchase, it's automatically going to throw their account name right over here, which means that they are allowed to look at the course. If they're over here, it means they're not allowed to look at the course. So I went ahead and moved it off of camera from here over to the left-hand side, just so I can show you guys. You click on it right here, and you can click the arrow. And now Levi Hagen, which is a fake account that I created on my own website, is now enrolled in this course, and so he's allowed to look at it. So if we click on update, I want to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to go back to my website. And from here, I'm going to go over to my account. Your students have the option to log in right here. And so I'm going to log in with that fake account that I created. But to do it, I just went to register and created a fake account. Okay, so now I am logged in as Levi Hagan, and you'll see that I actually have access to my courses, which would be the Lightroom preset right here. All right, so now that we've tested out our payment method and we know that it works and it's going to transfer someone over back into their courses page, we can go ahead and close out of this tab. The last thing I'm going to do is go back to Stripe. I'm going to go over to the API keys on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to go over to the viewing test data on the right, and I'm going to turn that off. So now that means that we are fully live and we're ready to take payments on our website. It's no longer in test mode. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of the Stripe account. So now we have a setup checkout page. All right, so let's go ahead and take one final walkthrough of the website. I'm going to go ahead and open it on an incognito tab so that it comes from a customer rather than just being logged in as the admin. Okay, we are a customer right now on our website. I think it looks fantastic. The text is definitely one of my favorite parts. This font, I think that looks awesome. But we've got our logo over here. The header menu is all working. Everything looks clean. We've got our courses all laid out in the grid, which looks great. And then the rest of the website as well, testimonials and contact section. I think it looks awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one. And then from the customer's point of view, you'll see that you have to log in to enroll first, but of course you can see the table of contents. So I'll click on login, and it's going to take them to a login or register screen just like this, with great animations as well. And then if we were to go back to the courses, scroll on down and select a different one, this is no longer a free course. This is actually going to be a paid course. And so when they click on take this course, it's going to take them to our fully customizable checkout page and thank you page. So I think it looks great. Congratulations on making your way to the very end of the video. All right, guys, that was a full walkthrough of how to create an online course website using LearnDash. For those of you who made it this far, my hope is that you can utilize this material, finish customizing the rest of your site, and make an amazing business from it. I hope y'all learned a lot from today's video and enjoyed the course building expertise. If you did, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel because we're constantly putting out amazing in-depth tutorials just like this one for free. Also, be sure to check out Create a Pro website on Instagram and TikTok for design inspiration and behind the scenes fun. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.